Hi, Nicole.
Good morning, Nicole.
Hey, how you doing?
Hanging in. We're still in Idaho, so I pulled off to the side of the road so I'd keep reception for our training.
Oh, good times. Oh.
See, let me show you. See, I look like the kids on distance learning, constantly in the car.
Is it hot?
Yeah, it's like 99 or something.
Ugh.
It's all good though. All good. I got the car on.
Yeah.
Both of you are co-hosts and both of you can share the screen if you need to.
Perfect. Thank you.
Perfect. Nicole, I tried to do music yesterday, but because I'm using a district hotspot, all of the music things have been blocked. So if you want to DJ for us.
I can do that. Oh, yeah. I'll just
I was sitting there yesterday trying to get it going when I was doing screen share, and I'm like, why is this not working? That's why.
yeah. Your audio. So let's check it out. See if I can share while you share screen. Should I mute?
So when you're muted, I don't hear the music.
Okay, good to know.
But I can hear it. I can hear the music now, even though I'm on share screen.
Okay, let me see here. Oh. Well, if worse comes to worse, I'll just unmute, but what? So slow. Share computer audio. Oh, can't share sound when others are. Okay, well then I'll just play it over my speaker.
Oh, there you go.
Ugh, all these
I
technical.
also have to talk to them because all of the WordPress ones are all blocked also on hotspot. It's very unfortunate.
Well, and the fact that they don't have that much control because of the carrier.
Yeah. So,
Good times.
yeah, good times.
Okay, if you guys are ready, I'm about to let everybody in.
Sounds good.
Good.
Okay.
Move it back on.
Welcome, everybody.
Hey.
Welcome, welcome. We dropped our bit.ly in the chat for you. So we put a little thing in the chat. Share with us your favorite game that you like to play, either with or without your students. Could be either. Ooh, Kahoot. Oh,
Ooh, look at
Woohoo!
ooh, cribbage.
Oh, I like it.
Thought I was the only one who played cribbage anymore.
Yeah, I have seen Kahoot get super wild. Lots of Kahoot users. Nice. Look at users. Nice. Awesome. Well, we're going to go ahead and get started. I am Michelle Van Ornum. I have been teaching for going on 18 years now, and pretty much have done just about everything at the middle school level. I work in a really small district, and so other duties as assigned is kind of the go-to. So you name it, and I've probably done it. And then I am just about to begin my very first year moving over to the dark side. I became the principal of our school as of this upcoming school year. So I'm excited for that new adventure. And certified Jamboard junkie, which we'll talk about soon.
And I'm Nicole Chun, and I am a TOSA for the very same district. And I have gone 21 years in education and also enjoyed the benefits of the small district. So others' duties as assigned is a good way to, to cover it all. We've pretty much done it all and seen it all, and a lot of it has been together. So, and I am a opinionated advocate for play in the classroom and just an all-around classroom nerd. So I'm excited to get together and play with everybody.
All right, so hopefully you came to play, because that's what we're going to be doing today. And so we hope that all of you will join in and play along with us. We're going to start with what became my favorite app over COVID and distance learning was Jamboard. So hopefully you guys have heard of Jamboard before. If not, be sure to check it out. And the thing I love about Jamboard is that I have an iPad, and I actually write on my iPad on the Jamboard, and then all the kids could see it at the same time. And so we used to have tablets that we'd walk around with. I now use my iPad for everything, and it allows me to do all kinds of other things in addition to whatever I'm screen sharing. So that's great. And I plan on using it even in my administrator walkthrough stuff, and encouraging our teachers to use it as well. So if you haven't checked out, Joe Bowler has a website called Mindset Mathematics, along with tons of books specific to every grade level. And their website is called UCubed. And go and check that out. They have all kinds of, it really will help you rethink your math teaching. One of the activities that I love to do with kids, we actually do on the very first day of school. I don't do the rules on the first day of school. I actually play an activity with the kids, and we get to know each other, and then we learn the rules as we go. So that's kind of a change up that I like to do. It's called 4-4s. So the directions for 4-4s are that you're supposed to use the number 4 exactly 4 times and try and come up with other numbers. So we're going to put the link to the Jamboard in the chat. And if you could click on that link, you'll see the Jamboard is going to pop up. And so we're all on a shared Jamboard. And you'll see the numbers 1, 2, 3. So you can pick any one that you want. I'll start with 1 to kind of get us started. So one of them that I thought of, so you have to use exactly 4 of the number 4. So I'm writing with my hand here, so that's super fun. Let's see, divided by, so 4 divided by 4 would be 1. And then if I divide that by 4 divided by 4. And then some of my students get into discussions about parentheses and whether or not the fractions would override the order of operations, which always gets into a great discussion. And already on day 1, I've got formative assessment going on order of operations, basic numeracy skills, all of those things. So it's kind of a catch-all of formative assessment for my students where I can kind of see where their skills are. So I'm going to give you guys a minute or two to kind of fill in, see what you can come up with. If you can think of any way to put the number 4 times to make up any of the numbers 1 through 20. So find a slide when you think of a number. And as a teacher, you could see how you can monitor which students are on which slides. Mine are showing up as anonymous, but when you work with your kids, it'll have little names on it. So feel free to log into the Jamboard, pick a slide, come up with a number. There's more than one option. Another thing that is my favorite about this activity, I love when there's more than one way to get to an answer. If any of you do math talks, this makes a great math talk. So, and then as a teacher, I can kind of scope out what different students are doing. When we do this whole class, when we're in person, I actually do it up on the whiteboard and I just list out the numbers 1 to 20 on my whiteboard. I do Math 360. So I have 6 whiteboards that cover every wall in my classroom has a whiteboard on it so that my students can all stand up and spread out. And we put all the numbers. And so they kind of powwow together. I give them individual whiteboards also to do their brainstorming on. And then every time they get one, they go up to the board and put them up and they can see each other's work as well. So that's super fun. Ooh, we came up with 16. Nice. So remember to use only the number 4 and try to use it exactly 4 times. That's the catch. Only the number 4 times. Got 16 going over here. The students are able to use any math operation. We talk about that if you use exponents, the exponent itself has to be the number 4 and it counts as one of your 4s. So kind of up the level for our upper kids. Let's see 7. So looking good. And then what I love is the kids start to correct each other. They'll go, well, wait, that doesn't work. And this should be. So if you see any that need correcting, feel free to edit them. Add some parentheses, help them out. Ooh, turned 1 into a 0. Nice. I love this. You guys are just jumping right in. Awesome. I'll give you about 30 more seconds.
Ooh, this Jamboard's getting full. Looking good.
I know, we love it. So for any of you that want to do it on Jamboard with your students, I did put a clean copy of this Jamboard on there for you to where you could just make a copy for yourself and it'll be a clean copy for you to use. How I adapt this is I then take this activity after we've done it as a class and I assign it to the students. And a lot of teachers want to get to know the students the first day of school. I do too. So I actually introduce myself using 4 4s. So I have taught for 18 years. I have been married for 20 years. I have 4 kids and I've traveled to 26 states. We're kind of missing the East Coast over here. That's our next trip. So, and the kids can do the same thing. They could pick 4 numbers. It could be any number. And then they write their own equation to go with the 4 numbers. And then they are only allowed to add pictures to go with it. So, and then I have the students present, and they can usually present in about a minute and share those different things, 2 minutes most. And so you can get through your whole class in a class period the next day with presenting theirs that they came up with. So I love this adaptation of the 4 4s activity to include introducing themselves. And then we actually put these up on the wall, and they're up in our classroom for everybody to see and get to know each other as well. So it kind of becomes art, classroom art. At a middle school, it's hard to come up with things to put on a wall for all of your different class periods. So this makes an awesome 1-pager that kind of summarizes all of our kids and gets to know each other. Just some quick things about Jamboard. Jamboard and Google Slides are all the things. You could literally do anything with them. And so I put all kinds of things. There are Jamboard activities here on the left and some Google Slides stuff. And so I'll just highlight a couple of things that I shared. If you haven't done Estimysteries, those are phenomenal. They're great for estimation purposes. The kids have a chart, the numbers 1 through 100. And then as you reveal clues, so you would show them a visual and they make an estimation of how many they think would be in that visual. You know, it could be how many Post-it notes on a basketball court, or how many, jelly beans in a jar, whatever it is. And then you reveal clues to them that allow them to cancel out the numbers. So you could do like, it's a multiple of 5, and they'd have to cross off anything that is not a multiple of 5, kind of narrow things down. So, and then all the students could be on the same jam. The one disadvantage to Jamboard is it does only have 20 slides. So if you have more than 20 students in a class, you either need to pair them up, or you need to create a second jam and have like group 1 and group 2 and have 2 jams going. There's also Google Slides games in there. So anytime we have downtime in the classroom, which isn't very often, but I try to build it in at least once a week, where we'll have some time just for the kids to really build relationships through gameplay. So this one shows there's Connect 4, Tic-Tac-Toe, Mancala, chess and checkers. I call it Chutes and Ladders, but Snakes and Ladders, if you played it with Snakes and Ladders. There's also, if you do primary, this Kentucky Center for Mathematics has tons and tons and tons of virtual games. So check them out. Most of them are math-based, given that it's the Center for Mathematics. So those are some fun highlights, but there's way more things put in there that you could check out. And including Math Reps. I want to put a plug in for Math Reps. If you haven't checked out Math Reps on Jamboards, they are my jam. I absolutely love them. I love to standard stack, and Math Reps puts a whole bunch of standards in one activity, and then you repeat it over and over and over again, which really builds in that knowledge for the students. So there you go. And I will turn it over to Nicole.
So I know we have a lot of Look It users in here. When we first started presenting this in November, or the version that it used to be, I guess, nobody was using Look It, and it has since exploded, and with good reason. I think it's great. But any of the online quiz games, Kahoot, Gimkit, quizzes, there's any number of those things work just as well. But Look It is kind of my favorite because it has all of these multiple game modes that you can use with students, and the kids really like them. They're based on some mobile games that they're used to playing, like Cafe and Crazy Kingdom are very similar to mobile app games that I've seen. And it does give them that nice immediate feedback. You get those learning reps in. We use it for Fast the Curious, alternating between quizzes, Look It, and Gimkit. One of the things I do like about Look It also is that the free version gives you enough that you can use it without having to go into the paid version. The paid version does have some nice features and it's not really that expensive, but definitely the free version is totally doable. So we'll just do a short game. Oh, I selected play instead of hosting one. No, I didn't. I'm losing my mind. And one of our favorites, we do love Crypto Hack, but one of our favorite easy get into it games is Gold Quest. And I highly, if you haven't tried it, play it with your kids because somehow they are so motivated to get to steal gold from their teacher. Like that is the ultimate. So you can host your game. And games have different recommendations based on your numbers and things like that. You can play for time or gold collection here. We'll just play like a 2-3 minute game. Let's make not 23. Let's make it a 3-minute game. We'll show those late instructions and we'll let late joins and we won't need to use random names, but you can do that also. So I'm gonna go ahead and host. Nice thing is that you get a join link that you can then just drop in your chat or share to students or push out. So I'll drop the game link in there. And another cool thing about it is that you don't have to have the students sign up for accounts, but a lot of students like to, because there's a little bit of a gamified aspect where they can collect currency to purchase new books and collect things. And frankly, I love that it feeds into that whole collector's mindset without having extra bunches of plastic that's just going to end up in a landfill. So. Well, that's cool. I'd love to see how they're doing PE with, so cool. So we'll give you some time to get in there. I want to play a 1-2. I need some new books. And I will say this is one of the few ways I get my own child to practice her math facts. And I know as a mom, as both of us, Michelle's kids use it too. And it's kind of funny to watch. They're very, they make their own games. They challenge each other and sometimes they get really, really quiet. And it's actually a good thing for a change.
Yeah. I showed my own children about playing it one day with they were watching me on distance learning, playing it with my students. And I turned around, next thing I know, they're all playing against each other. They had made their own games, which was fun.
All right, so almost everybody's in, and if you don't want to play me too, I'm going to start it. You can also join late just by going to bluekit.com/play and entering this code or using the join link. So I'm going to go ahead and start it. So the instructions are pretty simple. You answer questions correctly, and then you choose from 3 different boxes, and they have different prizes or non-prizes. See how old school these questions got. It is like a whole mix of generational trivia, but for some reason, last time we played it, it was like all super old school stuff. Oh, and another fun thing to do, especially in distance learning, is I have all my kids unmute and like
Yes.
the noise and the interaction, especially as gold gets accumulated and then stolen.
So feel free to unmute.
It gets pretty wild, but the kids have so much fun. I've played it with other classes, and I never want to leave. And one time I was in a class observing something else, and they did Bluekit to kind of as a little sponge because they had about 5 minutes left. The kids didn't want to go out to recess. They were like, "Can we just stay and keep playing?" Can't. can't deny the power of something that is more fun than recess. Someone stole my gold.
Ooh, triple gold. Like it. Oh, Amanda with the gold stealing. Back at you, Tweety.
It was 50%. And I had 50%. I had something to lose this time, not 50% at zero.
Oh, yes. We love the bonus math concepts in there, talking about percentages, division.
Yep, well, all the hidden learning, all the hidden curriculum. I am not doing well today. 20 seconds. Just keep this. Oh, and our final standings.
Oh, I was just about to swap.
Michelle and Tweety with 653 gold. Nice job. All right. So,
Yay, me! I learned something finally.
Nice. Congratulations.
I play against my students with with Kahoot, and I get slaughtered. I am not, it is no joke. There is one game out there. We go boss mode. I get slaughtered. I have one kid, he's just like, I don't know how he does it, but he is so stinking fast. It's ridiculous.
They get competitive. They really do. They
Well,
really
congrats
do.
on your first win.
Nice. Yeah. Don't have a prize. Darn, we should have had a prize. Send you a sticker. I make stickers like crazy. Sorry. So obviously it doesn't have to be just look at, Kahoot quizzes and GimKit. GimKit, it's a little harder to use the free version with a whole class, but it does have some really great game modes. One of my favorites is the Floor is Lava because it's collaborative and a cooperative game, which is kind of nice sometimes when you need to bring down the competition. And then 99 Math is all math facts, but it's free for teachers in classrooms. And the kids really like it as well, and they keep adding content. So now they have all kinds of additional, it used to just be like addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, and now they've added things like converting fractions and percentages. My internet was slow at my last presentation. Order of operations, rounding, so lots and lots of content, and it plays very similarly to a lot of these games, quizzes, and the kids enjoy it very much. So lots of options there. And then just kind of changing gears. I love board games, card games, video games, any kind of games. I love to play games myself, and I love to play games with my students. I have a whole cupboard full of games, and I'll spare everybody my long-winded, opinionated diatribe, but not all of the games in my cupboard are explicitly educational. There's a lot of hidden curriculum in just playing games, and there's a lot to be learned from games. And if you really watch how interaction goes in gameplay, that in and of itself is worth the time of you spending with them. So I won't, like I said, I'll spare you the TED Talk. So when we went fully virtual, I was like, how am I gonna play all these games. Like, what are we gonna do? And so I went on the hunt for different ways to bring play into my virtual classroom. And I did find a lot of different online options for us to come together and play digital or virtual versions of some of the games that we played. It did take some creativity, but I did, I found some things that could host. We have lots of boggle games. We have a bamboozle game, werewolf, that you can have directions for playing werewolf over the Zoom and you can, or the Google Meet, but you can adapt it to be Among Us. Scribble is like Pictionary, and bingo games and Mad Gab. Wordner is very similar to Apples. And then we used to play Heads Up. And if you don't have the app on your phone or mobile, you can actually just, again, I had students write out vocabulary on their 3x5 cards or sentence strips and just hold them up, and you can set it in, at least in Zoom, I don't know about in Google Meet, but you can set it so that you can't see your own video feed. So my kids always get this no matter what. They get a bag with cards and 6 dice and Play-Doh and 3x5 cards. I sent these home so we could keep playing even when we weren't together. So it takes a little bit of creativity, but we did find ways to have fun. One of the ones I really like for practicing vocabulary is Scribble. It's like Pictionary. It is ad supported. And so there is like before you can sign in and play, you have to watch a video ad. I've never seen an inappropriate ad. I usually try to cue it up beforehand. And so when you go to scribble.io, you just go ahead, you can customize your little avatar. Or you can just randomize it. And then you select create a private room, and then that's when the ad comes in. So, and of course, every time I present it, it's the longest ad ever. So sometimes I try to preset it beforehand, but what I have noticed is if you do that, you only have a limited amount of time before it reverts back. So we're just going to play. We're actually probably not going to finish because multiple players play per round, but just so to check it out, I'm going to use that custom word list from the slide deck. So it's just some school-based words: school, bus, Chromebook, backpack. And you want to check that box to use your custom words exclusively rather than pull from their library. And then I'm just going to start the game. Oh, wait, before I start the game, I have to invite some people. So there's a link that you can then drop in the chat. And then people can join your game. And I know this is great for language teachers, for vocabulary, for, well, pretty much anything that has vocabulary for sure. Math terms is really great. Pretty much anything you would want to play Pictionary with. Everybody. Start our game. So one person is given one of the words. They choose which one they're going to draw. And some of the things that I like about this is, one, yes, there's one person who's the first person to get in, so you get more points based on how quickly you get the answer in. But everybody can continue to keep playing and keep earning those points. And up at the top, it gives you a little, the space is how many letters are in there. And so different people can guess. And did I not check the right box? Okay, and so you can see if people got the answer right, they get points depending on how quickly they got it, and the person drawing can earn points for how many people get it correct. And we'll do one more round just so you can take a look at it. And I think I failed to check the box correctly. Yeah. Oh yeah, great for geometry terms for sure. And I can't show it because I'm not the person drawing, but at the bottom you have options. You can change colors, you can change drawing tools and things like that. And it makes it pretty versatile. So we'll go ahead and we'll leave this in the interest of time and return. But it's a good practice for vocabulary or anything that you want to practice with drawing. But again, just trying to find ways to bring us together around that play that we could do from remote. And so it was one of those things that I did. Another simple thing is just using slides to create little category games or any kind of simple wordplay. Michelle mentioned Estimistries, and Steve Warney also does the splats. Those things are great for when you're doing virtual or hybrid or in person, it doesn't matter. So for a simple one like this, I have 5 clues that lead to a category. So I would say, okay, the first clue is Pokemon. And then I would ask to either put in the chat or obviously in class, I can have them tell me, or even they could unmute and tell me, what do you think the category is? And then I could wait and see. And if we hadn't gotten it yet, well, then here's the next clue, cosplay. And then again, chat, and then I would reveal all of the clues until we would get to the fact that these were all portmanteaus. And then the other version of it is using categories where I would give them 2 things, one thing that is, and one that isn't. Same thing, can you guess it? So it's pretty simple, very low prep. Takes not a lot of time. It's one of those things, and the kids really like it, and it's a quick, fun way. And you can put your own content, obviously, in here. So, in addition, at the end of this slide deck, I've added a whole lot of other resources for playing on slides, in addition to the excuse me, the resources that are on slide 6. For slides, there's a lot of ways you can use slides to play. So at the end of this presentation, you have access to a bunch of other extra goodies, and I am going to hand it off to Michelle to look at animating with Google Slides, which is not necessarily a game per se, but it has the same kind of engagement and joy factor personally. And we've had we make it a game because we've had nothing but a ton of fun doing these.
Yeah, Nicole, will you do the screen share for me? My
Sure,
keeps
sure.
jumping out for some reason.
Uh-oh, not good. All right, I can do that. Well, I'll try to drive well.
So there you go. So GIFs can be a very powerful use in classrooms to show processes. Students can use them in math to show order of operations. They can use it to show steps of solving an equation. I've had them use them in geometry where they showed like how to make a net out of three-dimensional objects. Other things that you can do with them, the rock cycle, butterfly in science, the steps establishing the Constitution in history. There's all kinds of things that you can use GIFs for. And so this is the way that you can actually create a GIF using Google Slides. So Nicole's going to show our Very Hungry Caterpillar example, and I'll put in the chat and to the Very Hungry Caterpillar.
Okay.
And that way you can do your own. So it's going to ask you to make your own copy.
Okay, that's a pairing. So this is a very simple template. with a single slide. My internet's not cooperating either. With a background, and then if I zoom out, there's all of these elements that the students can then choose from. And I'm sure that this will make me the only one, but I actually don't know the story of the very hungry cat. But I think that he starts with a leaf, right?
So, yeah, so basically the very hungry caterpillar is crawling on a leaf, and then on day 1 he eats an apple, and then on day 2 he eats 2 pears, and then on day 3 he eats 3 strawberries, and on and on.
On and on.
So you would essentially create the different days. And the key to building your GIF is that you want to just copy the whole slide itself. And then you'll notice that I actually put all of the pieces around the edges so that way students don't have to copy and paste them from one slide to another. All the pieces are in the outer border. And so I like to use all of that space for directions and other things for students.
So, and then each slide, subsequent slide that you duplicate, you can make changes. And then, so you're basically creating like a little flip closer. So if I start at the top, I can see what's going on.
Yes, flipbooks, totally.
So again, I can kind of see what my animation's looking like. Next day, oops. And on the next day, he had 2 pears. And apparently my caterpillar rides on a flying leaf. So once you have your slides put out, there's a couple ways you can do this. There is an add-on for Google Slides that will do this. It's called Creator Studio. But there's also, without having to add anything, there is this site. It's actually the same people. It's called Tall Tweets. And if you want to scroll down to the center part that says Tall Tweets class and click select presentation. And then you can find your slide deck and select it. And it takes a little bit, especially if you have a larger slide deck and or you know the internet doesn't want to cooperate for Google Camp. Little things like that. There we go. And then you can set
Usually
the
you
duration.
do a slide duration that is less than 1.0. 1.0 is pretty long. So if you want it to last a little bit longer, you can, but I usually stick to like 0.5, 0.3, somewhere in there. And then you say create GIF. And it will demo the GIF for you before you go to download it. So that way you'll know if you like what is happening.
Mm-hmm. And then you have
I love your flying caterpillar there.
Oh, I plan on finishing that one. And then you can click save and it'll download it as a GIF and then you can put it where they want it.
So if you go to the next slide, there are all kinds of ideas on different subject area how you could use GIFs in your classroom. And even more than just teachers creating them, although I've seen lots of teachers create them as like Google headers for your Google Classroom where it says like test today or reminders for your students. Replacing your Google Classroom header with those is very neat. But I love that the students can create them and they don't have to know a whole lot about video editing and things like that to create a GIF. If they can create a slide, they can create a GIF. So they're great as tickets, allow a little bit more time if you're going to have them be more artistic or not supply as many of the pictures for them. For primary, you could supply all the pictures that they would need and they just have to drag and drop. So very, very cool.
Well, there's another tool on this slide deck too. It's not related to making GIFs and Google Slides, but it is a really great resource to use with kids. And that was that. And then I was like, which lets you use your webcam to record little mini GIFs or GIFs of yourself. So it's another tool that the kids really like. It's really simple to use. You don't have to create an account or anything like that. And you just click, I want to make a GIF. And then you can record a little 3-second video. So that's another really fun tool to use with students.
Yeah,
So
it turns your videos into GIFs.
correct. And it's, again, it's something simple, kids can jump on, doesn't require any kind of login or account or anything like that. So we won't spend too much time. We know that the play has a strong impact size and is the brain's preferred way of learning. But we can take a look at some, we have a little bit of time left, so we can take a look at some of the other things that we've kind of thrown in here. There are options for bringing in play. I really love to play Jackbox with the kids. Some of the Jackbox games allow you to add your own content. The math games, Desmos has so many cool activities that if you haven't used it in a while, it's pretty impressive. Anything on here that, oops, Michelle, that you want to highlight that I'm missing? There's a lot on here.
The FET sims, in case anybody doesn't know what those are in Nearpod. So if any of you are using Nearpod, the FET simulations, I believe that you do have to have the paid version in order to access those FET simulations, but those are an awesome segment that really allows students the interactivity and for things, the movement of instead of still pictures makes a big difference. It goes along with the idea of GIFs and movement for learning.
If you teach science, Legends of Learning is a great resource. Lots of arcade-based kind of science learning games. And one of the things my students love is that you get to provide feedback after you've played a game, and that they feel like they're being able to, you know, influence the content of the game, because some of the games have less fun gameplay and some of the games have really fun gameplay, and the content may be great here or not there. And the kids are really great at reviewing it. And honestly, again, just writing those reviews is pretty great learning experience. So we also have a few other goodies that you can explore, different Yahtzee games. I love to make word randomizers and then have just make a simple game. This not still loading. So this is for vowel, consonant, silent E words. And it's just really slow. And I'm really impatient. Okay, so anyway, this randomizes just
classrooms.
CVC words and CVCE words, and then the students can add up the points. We use Scrabble points in my class. I really love the game Drawception. I was like, how could we play this without having to play Drawception? And so I created this thing where you would take a virtual Post-it and cover the previous drawing, do their drawing, and then hand it to the next person. So that there was that element of, if you haven't played Drawception, you get a prompt, somebody draws it, and then the next person gets the drawing and has to guess what the prompt was. The next person gets that new guessed prompt, has to draw it. And it's really interesting to see where it goes by the time it goes through 8 people. So I kind of created my own in Google Slides. another snakes and ladders game, and then some other games you can play. And most of these work virtually or hybrid or in person. So we try to meet all of those places. So go ahead and stop sharing for a second and see if there are any questions or you have a little bit of time to kind of digest. I know that is a like fire hose level of content, but
We hope that in all of this, that it inspired you guys to go and try at least one with your students and play a little bit more. Learning is always way more fun when you're playing. So.
Absolutely. I know I like it better for myself. I really just play with my class because I like it.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Good luck with your family.
Oh, that's
and
what
all
I
the
do.
games. I love
That's
it.
what I do. My child
kids
is
are
my
my
favorite
best
guinea pig.
text subjects, right?
Yes. Oh, yes. My daughter is just like, oh, I'm like, gonna try this thing for me. Really? All right. And yes. And always feel free, reach out.
Thank you,
reach out
Valerie.
at Twitter or by email. Let us know any cool resources, any fun game stories, or just questions, concerns.
Oh, the cat doesn't want to play.
Oh, tell that cat to be more fun.
I know. You can email us. We'll try things out with you.
Yes, we are very good at testing things out for people. Like we do it all the time for each other. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for coming.
Absolutely. Thank you for playing.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, ladies. Thank you very much. You guys were
Thank
great.
you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great evening, night. I don't know, day, wherever you're at.
Thank you.
You as well. How do you make, oh,